sheet. It's attached to a metal bar that has 2 vertical suspended rods. It actually looks just like a shower curtain that you see in your shower in your bathroom. There is an opening in the middle of that sheet, and that's going to allow that surgeon to have access to the body part they're operating on while also protecting all of those surrounding areas, keep our equipment clean, keeping us safe, keeping things from getting too messy. So that is that shower curtain for a hip pinning. It does have a very special adhesive, a little sticky adhesive that's considered sterile. It allows it to stick to the surface that way. If anything is to bump that shower curtain, it's not going to fall out of place, and they're going to be able to keep everything intact and maintain that aseptic technique. Okay, so taking radiographs in the operating room, guys, make sure you are always dressed appropriately. And what I mean is make sure that you have the correct surgical get-up depending on the area you are in. So some areas do require those bunny suits. If so, you gotta make sure you have that bunny suit properly before you go into that surgical suite. Always be aware of all those sterile areas we talked about. Watch out for the blue. Watch out for the sterile corridors. Make sure you're communicating. When you get in there, identify your surgical team. Know who the float nurse is. Know who the surgical nurse is. Know who the physicians are. Know the difference between the chief physician and the residents. You need to know who these people are, so when it comes to communicating, you're communicating to the correct person and communicating appropriately. Know what your responsibility is. Your responsibility specifically as a technologist will be the operation of those C-arms or the obtaining of those medical radiographs using your portable machine if you're called to do a portable radiograph. That is your chief responsibility. And I'll throw in there, it's your responsibility to communicate accordingly to make sure people have lead jackets, that they're out of the way when you're doing your x-rays, if they do not have lead jackets on, that you're very loud and make sure you're communicating appropriately when you're making your exposures. That's another one of your chief responsibilities as a radiologic technologist. You're going to position your image receptors and your x-ray unit appropriately. In other words, you're going to put it in the right spot while maintaining that aseptic sterile technique, making sure your equipment is not hitting anything, not breaking sterile field, and maintaining the integrity of that surgical procedure. Communicate clearly with all that staff, be loud, be specific, know who you're talking to, and make sure you have all the information to do your job correctly and that you're educating them so that you can also do your job efficiently without any hangups or issues. Because we like to sometimes assume that they know everything about x-ray. The truth is, nurses and doctors, they really have no idea about what we do. They may pretend to know what we do, but they really do not know. When it comes to dose, when it comes to capturing x-rays, when it comes to protection, they honestly have no clue. That's why it's our chief responsibility to communicate all this information very specifically, very efficiently, to the best of our ability, protect our job, allow us to do our job, as well as to protect them and allow them to do their job properly. And just the same thing reiterating here, guys, when it comes to those C-arms and portable x-rays and the surgical procedures, communication, no 2 cases will ever be the same. And I even say if you have duplicated cases, 2 spine surgeries will never be exactly the same. 2 hip pinnings will never be exactly the same. 2 elbow surgeries will never be the same. Issues arise, different parts are broken, different parts are operated on. We've got to use critical thinking skills, and we're going to develop those over the next 2 years. Those critical thinking skills are key to obtaining the best quality image at the lowest amount of dose while also maintaining our sterile fields and aseptic techniques. And do keep in mind, these surgical environments can be stressful environments. Very, very stressful. Sometimes you go in there, there's a lot of people screaming, a lot of people cursing, a lot of people angry, especially if you ever break that sterile field. As you can imagine, as a surgeon, it's a very high-stress job. So it's key that you're doing everything you need to be doing, that you're not causing everyone else around you to increase in that stress because it's already a very stressful atmosphere. How do we avoid that? We educate ourselves appropriately, we communicate appropriately, and we're aware of all of our surroundings at all times, every time, no matter what the case is, no matter what we're doing. And that concludes the chapter on aseptic technique. Our next chapter will focus on non-aseptic technique. But before that, we do have a test coming up on Friday. And I do have a little review for you guys that we're about to do in just a second here. Hang on a second here. Okay, so unfortunately, I know you guys like the Kahoot reviews. Kahoot, unfortunately, got greedy during the pandemic, and they're now charging money to use the program. And it's actually quite expensive. But I did find an alternative program that we're going to give a try today to see how it goes. Maybe better, it may be worse, but let's see how it goes overall. It's called Quiz Is. Let me get this pulled up. This will give you an idea of some of the kind of questions you can expect. Okay. Bear with me, guys. This is so slow. I am so sorry.
Mr. Donahue,
Yes.
while you're pulling that up, can you just remind me who has the authority to allow us to use Zoom? Is that Dr. Black?
That would be, well, really it's Harris Health as a whole, but Dr. Black is a very high up member, has a lot to say, so he would be the one to give feedback to if you have concerns and
Sure. Okay.
because he would communicate appropriately to the right people. He's who we report to, so.
Thanks.
Yes, no problem. And I encourage you guys, give the feedback. Give the feedback. I know I've probably angered too many people with my feedback, but nevertheless, I'm still being very vocal about it. All right, guys, so if you can go to quizizz.com, that's QIZIZZ.com. It's going to be a very similar concept to using Kahoot. We're going to have a code. Code is up here at the top of the screen. That's 888733. That code. So quizizz.com. There should be an option when you go to that website to put that code in. It's going to be very similar to Kahoot. You're going to make a username. We're going to do this review together. I'll also put the link in the chat. That link in the chat should bring you directly to the spot you need to be. Now, if I recall correctly, this one, guys, as you earn points, you get power-ups. If you ever played a video game where you get power-ups, I think there are power-ups you can use to enhance your score as you answer things correctly. We'll see how this goes.
Mr. Donahue?
Yes.
When I insert the code, it cannot let me in.
What's it saying?
It says there's an error.
Did you try going to myquiz.com? Try that.
Okay.
Join myquiz.com and then put the code in.
Okay.
See what happens.
Do we have to sign up or just go and...
No, you should be able to just put the code in and then make a name to log in. I almost got all logged in here. Still gotta get more creative with these names, guys. Some of these are just so boring. You can do better than that. No one's a gamer in here. You don't have any gamer tags? No. Okay, is anybody else? I got 22 of you logged in. Is there anybody that's not logged in? I think it's all of you, all 22. Actually, so let's see how this goes, everybody. Oh, 23, okay. Let's see how this goes. 24, okay. So you're going to do those questions on your own pace, and then we'll review them. You got okay, so being free from disease-causing microorganisms refers to, oh, I lost vision here. Refers to, what is it, guys?
Asepsis.
So my screen went blank. Asepsis, yes, thank you. There we go. All right, next question. Which of the following is a source of infection? Okay, what is it, guys?
All the above.
All of the above, correct. All of the above. All those are a source of infection. Should you review that list? Next question. The reduction of microorganisms to a safe level is what? All right, let's see how this leaderboard's looking. You got Bowman and John second. So that was sanitized, guys. So make sure you review that terminology. All those have very similar definitions, but there are little specificities within those definitions that differentiate each of those terminologies. So make sure you definitely review those slides. The answer to that one was sanitize. That is the reduction of microorganisms to a safe level. Protection against infection before, during, and after surgery by using sterile techniques. Okay, scores are shifting around a little bit here. So that's going to be surgical asepsis. Surgical asepsis. Also referred to as clean technique.